Hi guys. We didn't play that much with our friend Wolverine lately, although I did the iconic anomalies a couple of times. But I thought it'd be a bit redundant doing videos with those missions over and over. We did get a few nice weapons though, some 83 Qatars and a few other goodies. I still need a few exhibits though to properly upgrade the gear. Well, we got a few nice pieces. Essentially, only the belt is still combat item level 70, the boots item level 60, but pretty much the rest is in the early 80s. So well, let's go into the Gotham Wasteland and do a couple of missions. Essentially, in some cases, we only need one more mission until we get the bonus boss or the extra boss in the mission. I suppose would be the actual way to call it. So, and I'll use my open world PvP gear. Not really, because I don't really have any PvP gear yet, but my PvP open world PvP armory, so to speak. At some point, when I start doing some PvP, I'll probably start changing the gear for some PvP gear for this little buddy. But until then, I can still use it for PvE also. And he looks kind of neat. I must admit the look did grow on me. I wasn't too sure about it at first. I wanted more the classic black and yellow Wolverine. But, but I have to admit that this black and blue one from the X-Force comic, I'm starting to like it. So one of the nice things about the Gotham Wasteland is that the missions are random. So even if you do the Wasteland over and over and over, you don't always quite get the same missions. Although after a while, you pretty much did. You will pretty much have done those missions dozens of times. But it's still a nice change of pace. You still never quite know what you're going to do. Unlike the anomalies, where it's always Bizarro. It's not only is it always the same mission, but it's always Bizarro or it's always the Huntress. As opposed to here, you can do those missions with any of your character, which does make it a nice change, sort of. So let's see here. Let's go for these little guys here. I probably should start using something like distract and EMP, but trying to keep powers and or abilities that sort of make sense with the character. Essentially, it helps to try to prevent that all your gadget characters end up being the same character. So that's usually what I like about trying to give a theme to my characters is that I don't end up using EMP with all my characters. I'll use it if it sort of fits with the character, but not always. Our friend Wolverine, like EMP for Batman, it makes kind of sense. I'm pretty sure I could find a comic or two where Batman uses some EMP like devices. The same with, let's say, an Iron Man character. I could see an Iron Man character using EMP, some sort of EMP, even though it probably would short out his own armor. But for Wolverine, I'm having a hard time justifying using such EMP. Since I'm using grenades and intimidate, intimidate kind of helps fake out or mimic his berserker rage. And him using grenades aren't that much of a stretch, since he in his Weapon X days he probably did use a grenade or two, like when he was a soldier or something. So it's easier to justify him using a grenade as opposed to him using EMP. I could have sworn there was an imp attack. Ah, there he is. But I will probably try to tweak my loadout a bit. The current loadout I'm using doesn't make that the most powerful character, which is okay for a roleplay character. But in the once I start doing alerts with other players, some will probably curse if I keep using a roleplay loadout, if it makes any sense. So I'll try to find a roleplay loadout that's a bit more effective, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. And as you can see, I replaced my backups by evil ninjas. Wolverine does have some sort of history with the hand, so I thought it made some sort of sense. Even though the last time he probably was crazy and brainwashed and was working for the hand against his own will, but it'll fit well enough. So ideally, right now, the goal would be to try and have our character progress up to combat rating 99. Once you reach combat rating 99, you're going to be able to do the iconic anomalies from tier 6, which would be helpful in allowing us to upgrade our gear a bit. Sometimes you'll see I'll probably stick to playing a lot of solo missions because I don't always have, let's say, the patience of playing group missions. Like the last time I tried to do League of Assassin, holy crap, it was a nightmare. Essentially, doing group missions with pickup group is pretty much like playing Russian roulette, I suppose. You never know what you're gonna get. Not quite the right analogy, but essentially you don't know what you're going to get, so you more or less almost have to be at least a bit overgeared in group missions, so that if you end up in a bad group, you can pretty much make up for the bad group. I guess right now I probably could do some tier 4 missions, maybe, and not be too much in trouble if I end up in a bad group. But then again, you never know. Might be better if I wait until I'm combat rating, I don't know, 95 or something. No, no real reason to attack this little hemp, other than I pretty much hate them. Which is reason enough for me, but as you can see, the little bugger is attacking me, so that's why I pretty much try to get rid of those imps, so that they don't end up attacking me when I'm fighting a handful of greater demon. Evil imps. So I guess you could call this my Black Ops Wolverine look, so to speak. Let's try and have fun with our friend here. Did not really need to attack him, but I prefer to attack him now and get rid of him, and then I'm going to the coast will be clearer for when I trigger the stones. Wasn't really necessary, but it'll be a tiny bit less painful, maybe. Again, just getting rid of the imp so that he doesn't attack me. Oh, and I can kick him. That's even better. Now let's get rid of them. Just one last stone. Oh, let's try it without defeating everyone. As you see, sometimes the targeting system will try to attack enemies that are further away for some reason. Like instead of attacking the guy that was right here, it tried to attack the other guys a little further. But I was able to stop myself before I ended up jumping them. You have to be a bit careful with the targeting system. It sadly sometimes will not target the character you want to target. Oh yeah. So again, let's go into our journal, go into our Alrean location, and then let's take the Wrath mission and see what we get. Essentially, I bought the Eastern layer when we had the last the latest 50% sale off, 50% off sale. So I was able to buy the Eastern layer and get my little friend, the ninjas. Although I still have a loadout where I use the robots, I think. But I thought the ninjas were a bit more appropriate. I meant an armory where I still use the robots. That's the nice thing about the armories. You could have an armory where your backups are ninjas, another armory your backups are robots, and a third armory where you don't actually use backup, but you use the sidekick instead. It's all good, and it does allow you to have some versatility, which is the best thing about the armories. You can have versatility in terms of assigning your skill points. You can have versatility in terms of what power you use, what you could, and I guess I'm waiting for the day when we're going to be able to have an armory where we can switch from, let's say, from fire to ice powers or some crazy thing like that, which will probably never happen thanks to respect tokens. We'll see. Although more than being able to switch powers, I wish we could at least switch the size of our character, if it makes any sense. Like essentially, I wish I could, let's say, have an armory where I would actually use the biggest character size we can, so that I can make, let's say, a Hulkbuster Iron Man armory. Uh, that was it pretty hard. So I wish I could for my Iron Man character I could have him use an Iron a Hulkbuster armory, which would be cool. So I could use, let's say, the bigger character size and the bulkiest armor I could find and make it an Hulkbuster armor. Maybe someday. Another example would probably be a Hulk type character or even a Shazam type character. Like essentially with Shazam, you would use the kid look and then Shazam switch armories and use our friend Captain Marvel. Although not sure what you, other than role playing purposes, not sure why you would make it a 10-year-old character. Like, and also what powers do you give your Billy Batson? The same for the Hulk, I suppose. Why would you make a Bruce Banner armory and then a Hulk armory? What power do you give to Bruce Banner? Ah. So there is an evil player nearby. Well, let's see if we can try and surprise him. I can't. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, there he is. Oh, he left. Or did he? Oh, let's try and have some fun. Didn't expect to beat him up. But it was fun to try. I probably should use the improve stealth mod, but I think I would have to use it instead of my max damage mod, I think. So probably won't happen. As you've noticed, I don't use the mines all that much, but once in a while it can be fun to use them. Sadly, stealth isn't really that useful, especially in group content. No one will wait behind while you go ahead and scout in stealth mode. And also, by now, pretty much everyone knows all the missions by heart, so no real reason to send someone in stealth to scout ahead and see what dangers may lie ahead. So that's one of the sad part of stealth in those games. We had the same problems also in Dungeons and Dragons Online, and that if you were playing a thief who wanted to be sneaky and stealthy, you couldn't really do that because you kept when you play with people who know the instance by heart, essentially you spend most of the instance running after them. Like they'll rush ahead and you have to try and catch up. And pretty much every game will make you move slower in stealth mode. And players once they did the mission once, no they know what's ahead, so no one will really ask you to use stealth unless there's a very specific part of the instance where you really need to be stealthy. And even then, once people overgear the content, they'll pretty much find a way around whatever mechanic there is. So sadly, stealth, even games like Dungeons and Dragons Online, pretty much ends up being something you do only when you're playing by yourself. Oh, should talk less and pay more attention to what the Keymaster is doing. So there we go. So we can see our friend. We can go see our friend Wonder Woman. So stealth can be fun if you're playing by yourself. Sadly, in a group, it's not really that useful. So let's talk to our friend Wonder Woman.
We're making progress against envy, but there's more work to be done. We can't let the sun.
So essentially, we have two missions where we completed. Where is it? Oh, I could have sworn we're 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5. Could have sworn we had some that were close to being a 5 out of 5. Oh well. So essentially, once we reach a 5 out of 5, I'll probably go and do the duos. I'll wait a bit. There's no rush. Now let's collect this. There's a few things we gathered that we did not collect, it seems. So we have our little friend here who can repair our gear. We can sell our junk. I'll keep the treats and the weapons for someone else.
Will you help us defeat the Sons of Trigon?
We could buy some gear if we wanted to. I guess I could, but I wouldn't really buy this little lady's gear. Uh, I don't. I'm not too crazy about how it looks. Holy crap, that's a bad one. Although it would fit nicely on maybe Bad Zero. Well, we'll see. Nope. Really not. No way. Nah. The sad thing is that essentially the way the game works now is that there's no real reason to buy this gear unless you just want to get the style. If you want the best gear, you have to go to Mogo and get the Green Lantern gear. Let's see. Although there is where is it? The Aquaman gear. Well, let's go check. Oh, we didn't talk to Zatanna, it seems. Let's talk to her.
Thanks for getting here so quickly. Something weird's going on out there. The Sentinels of Magic are reporting that demonic cults are grabbing citizens. Oh, good, it's you. We need help stopping the abductions in Gotham and Metropolis.
Oh, we could still get marks of victory from that. Let's take that. We probably won't go into Gotham. Well, maybe we'll go later. We'll see. Let's take a look at the Tier 5 Aquaman gear. Which is nowhere near as good as the other gear we just saw. Let's see what it looks like. Holy crap, it's nope. Not bad. Well, not bad, but nah. Maybe. Oh, holy crap. I'm not sure why they have all those spikes, and I guess this is supposed to be like a shark fin or something. The belt. Uh, I guess we would need 4 more. Oh, I guess I didn't. I'm not sure if I did the vault today. I'll probably do the vault and one or two other things. And I might be tempted to buy a piece of gear from Mogo. We'll see. Essentially, we do have two weekly missions, two solo weekly missions here. So we could do those for a mark or two.
Information is vital in war. To that end, we need to be able to get the battlefield is littered with parts of defeated manhunters.
No idea why those are only weekly. Makes no sense, but
What's the
what can you do?
difference between Kilowog and a 10-ton light construct?
So essentially at tier 5, this is pretty much the best gear we can buy.
Don't tell him I said that.
So we could try and get ourselves, let's see, maybe a weapon or... Nah. Plus 33 DPS. Not too bad. Not really. Nah. Nope. Oh, and that's sweet. Nope. Not really. No. The boots aren't bad. Okay, let's try and buy the Green Lantern chest. Not sure what happened, but we're floating 1 foot above the ground now. I guess they made some changes to the map, which kind of screwed the map itself. It's not a big deal, but it is breaking the immersion just a bit. Although there's plenty of other things that do that too, so I guess it's not the end of the world since it's not a game-breaking bug or glitch. So let's find our 12 Manhunter parts. Again, this is a weekly mission. I can sort of almost understand why it's weekly, since it's not a very difficult mission. So it's essentially a free mark of victory once a week. But still, you have to wonder why it's only once a week. Like if they didn't want to give people an alternative to be able to do marks by doing solo stuff, why why give them a once a week thing? Well, I guess it's better than nothing. Oh, let's try. It's a bit too close, but so in the other mission we have here, it's a mission called Information Underload. I'm not sure why. Oh, there it is. So let's go and do that. So we're going to go and fight some evil yellow lanterns and beat the snot out of them. I thought it was going to fall down the building. And he did. That's why I usually don't. Usually I don't attack them when they're way up in the sky like that. Even if they're on the top of a building, too often they'll fall down. Sometimes it's not too. Like in this case, it didn't really matter. But sometimes they'll fall down and then you'll end up in a hornet's nest, so to speak. Like you'll follow them and end up in half a dozen other enemies that were there waiting for you. Or even worse, that spawn just as you get there. I thought I was hearing something. So here's our next customer. And I hear, oh, there it is.
Calculation complete.
that was a good one. As you saw, sometimes they'll give 1, sometimes they'll give 4. Oh yeah, so 1 more and we'll be done. We'll probably need to do the vault, and then we'll probably need 1 more mark after that, unless we get really lucky and somehow get a Prometheum lockbox, which I don't really expect, but you never know. And there we go.
This is Lantern Jordan. A war of light has begun, and the Green Lantern Corps needs your help. Use the teleporter on the watchtower to travel to Mogo. He's a sentient planet in orbit around Earth. Don't worry, he's on our side. He's a full-fledged member of the Corps.
So we should have 58. Yeah, we still need 2 more. So let's do the vault right now. And as you see, sometimes as hard as you try, you cannot target the gifts. So the ideal solution is to go with holding L1, and then you're going to target the thing automatically. You don't really need to, but when you're trying to target only 1 gift, it can help a bit. Maybe the gloves? Nah, we already had the gloves. Oh well, at least we got our mark. So we need 1 more mark of victory. Oh well. So what else could I do for 1 mark? The obvious solution would be to do let's do an iconic anomaly and we'll get the mark we need. Normally I would keep the mark for my mainframe, but let's see. When do I need to pay the darn thing? 21 days, 20 days, and what about the belt? 27 days, 37 days. Oh yeah, we'll be good. So let's go and get our missing mark. Let's start to our friend Batman,
Remember, this is a simulation.
and we'll be good to go.
So reenact this moment as you see fit. The computers will take care of the rest.
failed clones quickly. Critical tandem! Secure the clones!
At this stage, you can pretty much ignore the scientist and just focus on the clone. Oh, there we go. And let's focus on our friend here. I guess I could destroy at least the first panel. Essentially, if you focus on the shield dude, you could possibly defeat him before the first guard arrives. And there we go.
Initializing extermination turret test. Target the clone tube. You're not allowed in here. Activate the Sentinel and bring those turrets back online, now.
There's no reason not to kill at least one or two of those little buggers. Then you can just focus on the guard. So there they are. No reason to defeat the scientist, but why not? I still remember the days when those evil scientists would focus fire on my poor Bizarro. Oh crap. Oh, got lucky. As you can see, the thing I like about the flame breath is that it does put damage over time on the robot. Oh, come on. But as you can see, sometimes the robot will pretty much act like a turtle. So he will spam block quite a lot. And now we can just leave. I've noticed we got a base item, just to notice what it was. Elegant landscape boat pictures. Almost worth. Oh, some boots. Just that alone makes it worth it. I was in need of some good boots. Let's go like that also. So the pants we already have. The gloves, it's a tank piece. Yesterday when I did when I did both anomalies, I ended up with like half a dozen tank pieces. I wasn't a happy guy. So let's imprint our new boots, and let's do that for at least most of our armories. Actually, probably for all of them. I know it doesn't make sense to have, let's say, some PvP armories when I don't have any PvP gear yet, but it'll make sense once I actually do start to do some PvP and gather some gear. I'm just not in a hurry to do so, I suppose. Oh, it was quite an upgrade, actually. So essentially, I was able to replace my level 60 boots for some level 83 boots, which was a nice upgrade. And let's put something in them boots. Sadly for the feet, there isn't that much that's really worth it. Inertial innervation, not too crazy about that, and it requires the swift movement anyway. The same with dashing combo. The dive bomb, I don't know. I guess I would have to try it at some point. Swooping combo too. I usually go for either explosive block or deadly block, depending on the character. I'll go with deadly block in this case. Explosive block was pretty useful in PvP when you wanted to capture a node. Sadly, they pretty much got rid of the mods for PvP, so it almost made the mod useless. I'm saying almost because it still could be useful, but it would require um, it would require to how can I explain that? It still can be useful, but the problem is that because it sort of does a little bit of crowd control in a sense. Like once you do your explosive block, the opponents will be helpless for like it says up to 1 second. It sometimes feels a bit more than that, and so for a second or two, you're crowd controlling at least some enemies. I guess would be the way to say that. The problem is that sometimes on some map, when you use explosive block, your enemy will be projected into another group of enemy, and sometimes you'll end up pulling way too many enemies or more enemies than you really intended. Oh, wrong one. So it's very easy to in certain maps it's very easy to lose control and attract way too many mobs by using the explosive block. So I pretty much stopped using it partly because of that. But there's a few characters where I will still use the block, the explosive block. But most I will go for the deadly block instead. And I thought I saw something for the pants. 881, 81. Oh, okay, I have controller pants. That's why. Never mind. So let's sell whatever is no longer useful. And we're going to be able to go get ourselves a new chest piece. Ideally, at this point, the best thing would be to take a belt. But essentially, once I can choose an item in the tier 5 duos, I will probably select a belt there. So right now, I will go straight for the chest piece instead. So let's see. Let's go see our friend Mogo. So already the boots gave us a bit of a boost to our combat rating, and the chest should give us a nice little extra boost. And usually when I have the choice, I'll go straight for the controller gear. Uh, Essentially, this is where we can actually start to put together some controller gear. So let's buy this, and let's equip it. And we're going to need a new red mod. Oh, but it did not increase our combat rating. Well, it happens. I guess the jump from 83 to 90 wasn't enough. Like maybe with 83 we were just barely on the edge of 93 combat rating, and now the 90 piece maybe brought us to the edge of 94, but not quite there. It happens. That's okay. There's no rush. And essentially, once we replace our belt and a few other pieces, we'll probably go up a bit more. So let's go get our penetrating strike. For the chest piece, I pretty much always go for penetrating strikes. That's pretty much the default mod I use. But I'm sure at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point I find a way to I find a mod that I might think that would be better for the controller mod. Like I could probably go keep the penetrating strikes for DPS gear, but go for some other mod and controller. I haven't really played with that all that much yet. So usually by default, I don't worry too much, and I just get the penetrating strike right off the bat. I don't mind this look, but I don't like the yellow claws. I guess I'm gonna have to do something about that. So as you see, essentially at this point, I don't really worry about. I go for the highest CR piece as opposed to the best piece, I guess you could say. Although I probably could have kept my chest. Uh, yeah, maybe I'll do that. I probably could keep this piece for since it doesn't affect my combat rating and my overall stats. Uh, yeah, my new chest would give me more defense and more vitalization, but I do take a hit in might and precision. So yeah, I think I'll keep my old chest for DPS. Yeah, sometimes I make decisions like that on the fly. Let's see. Usually I'll go for whatever piece gives me the highest combat rating, but in this case, there seems to be no difference for that. So I'll take a hit in precision and might. It's not that big a hit, but it's 128 precision or 332 might. It shows. So let's go put the chest over here. Essentially, at this stage, that's pretty much where I start to have controller gear and DPS gear. Although I would need a few mods. I guess I'm gonna have to go farm for exobits at some point. So let's go back to DPS open. So what's our overall combat rating? It's 93 also. So essentially, at some point, the yellow rings were probably giving a boost to my combat rating, so that my equipped combat rating didn't quite match with my actual combat rating. But once you reach 80 something gear, now the combat rating is pretty much the same for both 93 equipped and 93 global combat rating. So if I go with, let's say, DPS Arena. Oh, my equipped CR is still 89. I didn't take too much of a hit. So I could probably still use this in the open world, but the problem is that I cannot use the colas and the trinket, which is why I usually make an armory specifically for the open world. But although at this point it's pretty much the same gear that my DPS gear is using, that my DPS armory is using, but slowly and surely as I start doing PvP, I'll probably replace this armory's gear for some PvP gear. So I will have essentially an armory for when I'm in the open world against other players, and an armory in the open world against NPCs. So I'm surprised that the look is pretty close to the, the classic Wolverine brown look. I wish we had something closer for the yellow and black look, but well, maybe someday. You never know what they're going to add as time goes by. So I guess that I will stop rambling, and this will be it for now. So we got ourselves a new chest piece. So essentially, once I'll have done the Gotham Wasteland two more times, then I'll start doing the duos. And then with the duos, I'll start getting maybe a new belt and probably new pants and probably a new headgear. So these are the first three pieces that I will try and replace, I suppose. With the duos give, if I'm not mistaken, the duos give some 80, 85 item level gear. So I should be able to replace my 81 pants with some 85 pants, the head for some 85, and the belt with some 85. The belt will probably be the first thing I'll change. Well, we shall see. So anyways, so thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.